Welcome to episode number 48 of the Keep Up Podcast.
Or episode number 36 of the Keep Up Vodcast.
We've done it. We made it through the numbers.
Yeah, that's the hardest part because I don't remember. And I always tell future Tim, good luck.
You tell him that?
Yeah. It's a message. I normally text myself.
Is that part of your weird, like, alternate dimension theory?
No, that Tim's dead. He can't remember the number, so his head explodes, which is very unfortunate, but luckily I'm not that guy.
Luckily.
But then I also think there's a Tim that goes to Japan every day. Until I go to Japan. I'll be that Tim eventually.
Then he ends up in New Hampshire?
No, he'll be dead.
Why do they all just die?
Because
that's very different than your last theory.
That's the reality, I think.
So if you do anything...
Well, then there'll be that poor Tim that goes on a plane, but it explodes.
Oof.
Or that Tim that makes it to Japan and gets hit by a car. Or he goes to eat his first thing of ramen.
They don't have cars in Japan.
Oh, you're right. They have cars.
You're right.
Thanks. I have stupid questions.
Oh, yes. Right now?
Right now. I'm just going to jump into
right.
it. Because we were talking about alternate realities, so I was like, I'm stupid.
I'm so excited to use this transition
Yeah,
again.
I'm probably going to have a question every podcast now.
Yes.
I'm going to try to anyways. Okay, so this is kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
So first, do you think people with amnesia, do they remember the time they forgot? You're silent. So like, so when you get amnesia, you lose your memory, and then eventually you get your memory back. Do you remember that moment from when you lost your memory to now? Does that become one of your memories?
No.
Do you forget that time you forgot things? Or do you remember that sensation you had where you couldn't remember anything?
You remember not remembering, I think.
Okay. So you're telling me.
I think it's like, you know how when people describe like an experience and they're like, and the last thing I remember is
that.
And so they remember that thing.
Okay.
They remember the last thing they remember.
Do they remember after? Like the part when they forgot? Like when you regain your memories, do you forget your amnesia self?
I wonder, I don't know a lot about amnesia. Maybe it's more of like a consciousness thing. Like, do you come back to a point where you're like
remembering
things?
Yeah, like on a computer, if you save your phone, you go back to your last time you uploaded it or something?
Not consciousness, I guess that's not.
I don't know. I'm not a brain guy.
It's like I don't really know. No, because amnesia is not like a chronic thing.
Well, no, but if you lose it, then you regain. I just want to know if you remember that point. Do you think you remember that point?
What point?
That period where you didn't know anything.
If that comes back?
Like, say you get all your memories. Do you remember that? Like, let's say you lost your memory for 2 hours. Do you remember those 2 hours you were sitting there like, I don't know anything. Who am I? Do you remember you not knowing those things? I don't think that made it any easier.
You didn't.
No.
Maybe. All I can think of is when I got a concussion. And
what happened there?
So I got knocked stupid. Like, I could not.
Is that when you had to get staples?
No.
That was something different.
That was a different time.
Okay.
That was the time I got kicked in the head.
Mm-hmm. That's just a lovely time.
I'm sick. This is driving me crazy.
Welcome to the sick cast.
I just realized today that jazz got me sick.
Nice.
Yeah. My son, not the genre of music.
La La Land 2.
Already?
When the music gets you sick.
That's a terrible subtitle.
Thank you. Or A Wrinkle in Tim 4.
Oh, stop making a Wrinkles and Tim's.
I don't even know which one we're on. So, okay. Anyways, back to your concussion.
So, yeah, I fell and I hit my head.
That's it? You just fell?
You
weren't fighting a tiger?
No, I was skating. I was skateboarding and I fell off of a ramp.
Did you have a helmet?
No.
You're a fool.
Absolutely. And I was doing something I'd never done before on a pretty wonky ramp, admittedly. Like,
was it like a half pipe or like
it was a quarter.
Oh, okay.
And I was at the top of it and I was trying to drop in. I've still to this day never successfully dropped in on anything. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
You still have time though.
Yeah, thanks.
You're young.
That's very positive thinking on your part. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I went to drop in. I kind of jumped off the board and instead of landing on the ground, I landed on the board again unexpectedly, and it just basically shot me off like into the air, and I hit the ground and I scorpioned. You know what that means?
Like, get over here?
No.
Like your body propelled to the ground?
Your
like
body hits the ground first and propels your head into the ground.
Ooh.
Like, have you ever seen someone like
with
they
it
get jolted back?
Yeah.
So I like scorpioned on the cement.
Like front of your, like, face?
No, the back of my head.
Oh,
the back of my head.
Okay, yeah.
So like everything goes black, and I don't start like I don't really have consciousness for a couple minutes, but I'm talking, and like I was with my friend Mark, and I kept asking him questions, and like over and over and over again the same questions. And I remembered that stuff later, but in the moment, like something would happen and I would immediately forget it and forget where I am. And then I would like kind of come around and then I would immediately forget it all. Jeez. And then later, I remembered the whole ordeal.
But so you do remember the point. Well, you didn't lose your memory.
There's a little bit of time like where I hit the ground. And the next thing I remember, I was like standing up asking Mark questions.
Okay.
So I lost some time in there that I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay.
He said it was super scary for him because I hit the ground and then looked at him and I was like cross-eyed and stuff.
Oh.
So like I knocked myself real dumb. Like I think my brain kind of shut down for a minute.
Did you have a big bruise or something on your head?
I don't remember having, I mean, maybe I had like a bump. It didn't like, there wasn't blood or anything. I just hit my head so freaking hard.
Oh,
yeah.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
So I don't know. With amnesia, I mean, I always think of like in movies and stuff, you always see it's like a car wreck and they forget everything. And I think there's different cases, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get bits and pieces back, but other times it's like, what's that one movie? It was based on a book. It's a true story.
Finding Nemo.
No.
Okay.
Touch the butt.
I was thinking, short-term memory loss.
Rachel, what's that movie with the couple?
The couple.
And
50 First Dates.
And no.
Okay.
And she loses her memory. Is a true story.
50 First Dates. Oh, no.
Huh? The Vow.
50 First Dates.
The Vow.
Okay.
It's not. Are you forgetting that you keep saying that? The Vow. Did you ever see The Vow?
The Vow.
Read it. Had Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams in it.
No. I'm thinking the one with Ryan Reynolds. Proposal.
That's The Proposal.
That's a good one.
That's the best movie ever. No, but so the story of The Vow, and it's a real... all right, calm yourself.
Yes.
And it's a real... it's a true story. They take some liberties in the movie, of course. But where husband and wife, they got in a car accident. I think it was actually a car accident. And the woman completely lost all of her memories. And it actually, like, the last thing she remembered... It brought her back to like years before she met her husband.
Oh.
So she came around and like didn't know who he was.
Oh,
and her mental state was like before she met him. And so like, and to this day, like she doesn't have those memories.
Oh, geez.
So she had to be like, she was like, "Who are you?" And he had to explain
re-fall in
everything.
love.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these different types, different cases, Tim.
Well, I'm thinking basic amnesia.
Basic amnesia.
The one where you forget memories.
I mean, that's what amnesia is.
I know, but there's sometimes where you forget like how to breathe or forget how to chew like that. That's deep amnesia. I'm talking about just normal, your run-of-the-mill amnesia.
I feel like you're making this way too complicated.
I'm not. I just want to know when you get your memories back, do you remember that point? You must. I assume you have to, because at that point your brain, think of it
I think the answer is sometimes.
See, that's not the answer I want.
I think it's the answer, though.
I'm thinking your brain is like a camera. So it shuts off when you get amnesia, like the second the impact until you wake up. And then it starts recording again, but it lost all the footage.
So the information's still there.
Right. So then it starts recording up to the point where I slap in another SD card. That's your memories coming back. And then, but do you have both data?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just, it was just something I was thinking about.
Right.
So sometimes is the definitive answer.
I mean, that's what I'm sticking with. It feels safe to me.
Yeah, that's fine.
What else you got?
So it's another amnesia question.
Of course.
Of course. So do you think...
It'd be really funny if you just asked the exact same one.
That would have been great. So if you get amnesia...
Yeah.
Do you think if you were to leave yourself a note of someone you weren't, Like, say I got amnesia. Say I got amnesia and said I was an Olympic swimmer.
And you're conning yourself.
And I'm like, oh, I must be an Olympic swimmer. Can you, like, will your brain to tell you, like, to make your body an Olympic swimmer body?
All right. I see your stupid question.
Yes.
And I raise you. Could you tell your amnesiac self jokes? Because
you don't know them? That's fantastic.
Because if I got a note from myself that said you're an Olympic swimmer, I would be like, good one, me.
You wouldn't know. Well, would you know it was you that left the note? You wouldn't because
you got to sign it you.
What?
And then at that point, you have to be aware that you have a short-term memory loss problem.
And you're like, wait, that's me, right?
Also, what is the word I said?
Amnesiac?
Amnesiatic? There's no way that's right.
That's got to be.
Amnesiac? Amnesiac.
See, now you're just making it painful.
I am Kermit.
Oh.
So, could you trick yourself? Is that the question?
Yeah, because you wouldn't know who you are. You could be like, oh, Tim, you're a sexy model. I'll be like, guess I'm a sexy model.
See, I wouldn't trust myself.
Well, you wouldn't know to trust yourself. Or not.
Amnesiac, not amnesiatic.
See, now it just sounds like someone sneezing.
Amnesiatic?
Sneezy.
Amnesiac.
Sneezy-atic.
There's a song called Amnesiatic. I wonder if they know.
Is it by, hold on, I'm going to guess the band.
Okay.
I'm going to call them the Front Runner Brigade.
Tim, you nailed it.
I thought so. They're my favorite band, I think.
This is another question I just don't know the answer to.
I think you could. I think you could trick yourself.
You'd have to trust yourself.
Trick yourself.
We're talking about some Memento stuff right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or Split, if you've seen Split, which you haven't. Not that he leaves himself a note.
Stop bringing it up.
You know what happens at the end of that movie?
Oh, I have another thing to talk about.
We didn't answer that question first. Before we get into your
I'm trying to imply that I'm not going to answer that question.
I'll answer it with my opinion.
Tell me what you think.
I think it's possible, but it has to be specific.
So you're trying to trick yourself into...
Like, say you're a football player. So you trick yourself into thinking you're a football player. Can your body, like, get strong real fast? It's like, oh, I'm a football player. And then
no.
Then you go join a football team or something?
No.
You don't think you could
you would go somewhere to play football, and you would be like, like, I forgot to include that I'm a terrible football player.
I seem to miss the word
It
terrible.
never said it was good.
Okay, what if it's something simple, like...
I was good.
Like you can snap, but before you couldn't snap. Do you think you could...
So would you leave yourself a note that's like, don't forget, you just learned to snap. And even though you already knew how to, you would be like, oh yeah.
No, you didn't know how to snap. That was the thing.
Oh, so you didn't know.
So, but you're so confident. You're like, well, I know to snap, and then you do it right away.
But in reality, you already knew how.
No, you didn't know.
No, you did.
No, you never knew.
You did.
No,
but you're trying to trick yourself.
Right. So
no, you can't teach yourself magical tricks.
I think you can.
Through confidence and deception.
Whistling, you're like, oh, I guess I know how to whistle. And then your brain's like, well, I've seen this is how whistling's been done. So
you're just talking about the concept of learning things.
I'm seeing because there are things that are difficult for people, like snapping. Some people can't snap.
Can you snap?
So, yes.
What about the other hand?
It's sometimes.
Yeah.
But hey, no text on the podcast.
It's very important.
That's the number one rule.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
What do you mean by archive footage? That's a text I just got.
Well, I think it's the footage that you keep in the archive.
Nailed it.
The archive asylum.
This is why this is your segment, because my questions are too easily answerable.
Yeah.
Try saying easily answerable twice.
Easily answerable. Easily answerable.
You put a pause in the middle, and it made it less
because I talk
exciting.
With drama.
Right.
I tried to put a little William Shatner in there, you know?
No, well played. I like that.
So I think it's possible for simple things, for more difficult things, like say you're president. You can't tell yourself you're president because you get shot. Like when you go to the White House, they'd be like, who's this chump?
Right. And you'd be like, but I left myself a note.
But no, you wouldn't know. It's just a note. You wake up and you're like.
So you just trust that. If you don't watch the podcast, Tim just made a face that is plenty reason enough.
That is the wake-up face from amnesia.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you wouldn't know the notes from you. You have amnesia. You're just like...
This whole scenario just is crazy.
It
is just crazy.
I just want to know these things.
It's madness.
What if you're a pilot and you can't remember
Why do you
how
always
to
talk
get
about
home?
pilots?
Because I want to go to Japan. And that's as close as I get is talking about
We're going to
pilots.
go to Japan.
I hope so.
Should we tell the people?
I mean, they got to know.
We're going to Japan.
We're going, hopefully.
In a year.
In a year.
I'm going.
I'm not.
That'd be weird if I ended up going. You're like, you're
What the
not
heck?
coming now? This was your idea.
I've been planning this since I was 2.
Can I tell you something annoying?
Yeah, tell me your sad life.
All right. I pray that this doesn't happen often enough that I can start a spoiler segment.
About spoilers?
Yes, I have been spoiled again.
On what? What could possibly be out that's
I'm just going to tell you the
spoiler-rific?
scenario. It's a show that I just started watching. I watched one episode.
What show?
I'm not even going to say it.
But I want to know.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in the future.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, Buffalo Romance.
Oh, God.
But, okay, so this is what happened. I was listening to a podcast completely unrelated to any media, TV shows, anything at all. It's not a podcast about anything like that. It was a podcast of this particular episode. Just to tell you how out of the blue this was a couple pastors and a couple atheists discussing the concept of miracles.
Okay. How
Okay.
in the world?
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving you, this is what.
That's the scene. You're
right.
setting the
So
scene.
they're, talking about this, discussing different ideas. And, okay, so let's say that there's a show called Cricket City.
Okay.
I'm making this up because I don't want to spoil anything. There's a show called Cricket City.
Is that like a hint for what the show actually
Not even
is?
a little bit.
Shoot.
The show has nothing to do with crickets or
Okay.
cities.
That sounds
So-
like a good show, though.
Yeah, I'm working on
Yeah.
it. Cricket City. Now there's a character in Cricket City named.
Oh, I want to name him.
Okay.
Caligulorf.
This is why I was going to do it. Because I am no. Would you.
I can never say it again.
Caligulorf? Tim, you are never naming anything.
I'm naming every child I have the same
I was
name.
just going to say you should immediately hand over all rights to naming your children to me. Because if you end up having a Caligulorf, there's no explaining that.
There is.
When he or she gets older.
the story of Caligulorf.
There's a G in
I don't
there?
know.
Is that new or
It's
was that
silent.
always there?
It's silent, but you have to say it.
That doesn't make any sense.
does.
Are there two, but you only say one of them?
I think so. Like Lloyd. 'Cause there's 2 L's.
Lloyd.
Yeah, see? Anyways, so
All right,
Caligulorf.
Caligulorf. I can't.
I don't even know the name.
All right, so there's a show called Cricket City and a character named Caligulorf. So I'm listening to this podcast. It's unrelated to anything, right? I just watched one episode of Cricket City.
We're not going to make it through this.
I've barely been introduced to
I'm
Caligulorf.
sweating and crying. I'm in shambles.
So I barely know anything about this show, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm crying. I can't stop. Oh, no. Oh.
so
You have to pick a new show.
I can't. It's Cricket City.
Oh, I'm so upset. I can't. I'm crying.
All right, ready?
No, I can't. Oh,
So I'm listening to this podcast.
please don't say it. Just thinking about it. Oh,
I don't want to come up with a new one because they're just going to say dumber stuff. All right. So I'm listening to this podcast and they're talking about
oh my God.
about miracles and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So they're talking about this one case and discussing whether or not it could have been a miracle or is just completely explainable medically, right? So
Oh my God.
it has to do with I don't even want to say let's call Let's call it tuberculosis.
Okay, that's much better.
So,
oh my God, I need a 5-minute nap after this. Holy crap.
so this is what happened. So,
Yeah.
show I just started watching, podcast completely unrelated. The guest, they're talking about tuberculosis, and the guy he says something wrong, and he's like, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry, my brain was in the wrong place."
Don't say it. I can't.
He's like, I've been watching Cricket City, and Caligari just died from tuberculosis.
Oh, I knew.
Except
this poor guy. Poor Caligari.
Except everything he said was a real show and a real character.
Oh, so he said this character died.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm just making all this crap up so
Yeah.
nobody actually gets the spoiler I did. But a completely unrelated thing.
Yeah.
And this guy just quickly says, I just started watching this and this character dies. And I was like, ah!
Why?
Why would you randomly?
Oh my God.
So I get spoiled.
Out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Okay, what's worse? Well, I mean, the only way to get spoiled is out of nowhere, I think. I was thinking, what if someone was like, it's not a spoiler, but, and then they tell you a spoiler.
And you're like, actually.
That was a spoiler. I don't know what you were thinking.
I don't know if I guess I've kind of experienced that.
Or is it always a Shanghai surprise and you're like, whoa?
To me, it's like in person or on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know what's worse. This was terrible because, I don't know, it's like the Facebook one.
Yeah. Except you heard it. And I think that's way out of that's worse than reading it because you're like, it's just.
There's no possible chance that
Yeah.
you would be spoiled by on a TV show by listening to this episode of this podcast.
Right, because on Facebook, you're like, there's always in the back of your mind, just
there.
be aware. There could be something.
Right. Or if I were listening to a podcast like ours, we've tried to be more cautious now, but where they're just talking about a movie or talking about TV shows, there's the chance, I have friends who've listened to us and they're like, oh, I skipped over when you talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I haven't caught up yet.
Right.
I don't even have the opportunity because they're just talking about people and stuff happening and
And then they're like, freaking Caligari.
Caligari on Cricket City is dead.
I knew he wasn't going to last, though.
Of course not.
No, because freaking Lindsay Butts.
Lindsay Butt Slaps?
Yes, she, had it out for him.
For Caligari?
Yeah. I mean, because he was with Johnny Applebottom. And
I can't wait to re-listen to the moment where you came up with Caligari. We might have to wrap it up. We're done.
I can't. Dude. Oh.
All right.
I need a towel. I'm crying. I'm sweating.
I might need to get a drink.
Yeah, this is it's okay. That was fun. What do you want to jump into?
Do you have TV?
Yeah, actually. I was not going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it.
Don't call me Ashley.
Okay.
Let's go to TV.
Okay.
Television.
So TV, okay. Stupid question, but it's relevant to TV.
Sure.
Have you ever condemned a show to a bedtime show? A show you watch before you go to bed?
Yeah, because if you fall asleep, it's fine.
It's fine, and you really don't want to go back and watch it in your free time.
Okay,
because you're like, well, I've already seen the first 10 minutes. It's one of those things that you're like, I'm okay missing out on.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've totally done that.
Okay, so I condemn this poor show, and it doesn't deserve it. So I've been watching Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's your bedtime?
I know, that's why I feel bad.
That's almost okay, though.
It's soothing. It's like a mixture of a podcast, because I just listen to them make jokes about the movie, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, and I like it because the screen's dark. It's a lot of shows are very bright. This one's dark because they're in a movie theater.
In a lot of ways, I would say that makes a lot of sense. Actually, having that as your
it's just kind of.
You know what else? There's something about the time period of it that, we've talked about before. I used to just keep Cartoon Network on at night.
Yeah.
Or Nickelodeon, and sometimes there would be older shows on when you wake up.
See, I never liked watching Nickelodeon before bed because it was Nick at Night.
Nick at Night, yeah, for sure.
I didn't like the live
Cartoon Network
stuff.
was better, and because it would be older shows, but it'd be cartoons. So.
Yeah, yep.
But Mystery Science Theater kind of reminds me of that time. Have you ever watched it before?
The only time I ever watched it was, I think, a year ago. We watched a movie at Uncle's house. We watched it, and that was the only time.
The movie, right?
Yeah, the movie.
So good.
I know, which is funny because each episode's the movie.
They all are, yeah. That one just came out in theaters.
Why?
Because they hadn't before.
And they were just like...
They were all just network releases.
It was the same exact format, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. Cool.
Yeah, it was just like bringing it to theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, there was like nothing different. I thought they would at least like add an extra movie or something, but...
Nope.
No worries. But yeah, it's good. It still holds up, you know? Because it's not... I mean, sometimes it is like... cultural humor, like based on the times.
Yeah.
They've made like just references to presidents or whatever at the time. But still a lot of the jokes, because the movies are older anyways and wicked cheesy, that the jokes they make are just on the movies. So, but yeah, it's something that growing up I never got into because like I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm upset that I condemned it to a bedtime show because I could watch it in my free time. It is kind of a commitment though because you are watching a movie.
Right. That's
on
the hard
top of
thing
that wrapped around it. Wrapped around it.
Wrap around now.
Wrap around now. But yeah, it's just good. And
how are you watching it?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
Well, one season, I guess. And I'm not sure which season.
One season?
Yeah.
How many episodes?
It's like 22. I had to look into it more because I know there's like 200-something episodes.
Are there really?
Well, that's what I saw on IMDb. But I think it's the first season because...
I wonder how many seasons there were because they put them out in volumes on DVD, and there's always four. There's typically 4 films on each one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because I saw...
But they're expensive.
Yeah, on IMDb, I saw that they had, like 200-something episodes.
Let me see here.
But the other thing is they're coming out with a new season of it.
Really?
Yeah, Netflix original. I believe April or May, like really soon.
Yo.
So
that's exciting.
Yeah, it has what's her name? Felicia Day. She's in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she plays the like the I forgot her name right now, friggin'. The bad lady in it that's like following them throughout the whole thing. I'm watching it, but
yeah.
I always watch it before I go to bed, so I'm never like really into it. Mm-hmm. Like I always miss the first chunk because I'm like, oh, I should try to go to bed, and then I turn over, and then they're in the theater, so I'm watching them talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I get sucked in. But yeah, it's this lady that chases them. She's playing her daughter.
Oh, okay.
So it's more brought into the future or whatever.
Right.
And they have a new host. I don't know him. He's just some dude. Like with the 2 robot guys.
It's not Mike?
No. It's a new guy. And yeah, it's just, I'm interested to see how they're going to do, like what movies they're going to pull out.
Right.
Because every movie I watched so far, it's so bad. So bad.
Yeah.
There was one, what was it called? It was Future Wars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That movie was so bad.
It's really difficult to imagine that these were just released to the public.
I know. And how have I not heard of any of them?
Yeah.
Like just over time, people don't.
So terrible.
They just go away. But
I think my favorite one to this day is on, I think it's on volume 1, and it's the Skydivers. And it's like.
I don't think I saw that one yet.
I don't know. Yeah. If it's on there, you should watch it as soon as possible because it is just hilarious. It's one of the first ones Rachel and I watched together. Mm-hmm. Dude, we quoted that thing forever because it just, oh, dude, it's so funny.
It's a whole movie about skydiving?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But it's like, there's like a bunch of terrible editing and they make fun of it in a way that I can't even try to recreate because it's just so like in the moment hilarious. But yeah, dude, I love that show.
It's so good. I really need to sit down and actually finish one, like watch a full episode because I always fall asleep. But every time I'm watching it for those like 20 minutes or whatever, I'm like, this is good. I understand why people really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I always, looking back, I think if anything feels like dated or silly, it's the stuff in between when they're not in the theater, you know?
Yeah, while they're doing their little like skit.
Yeah, and that's just like, it's whatever. Like, it's fun and goofy. But, you're watching it for the comedy in the theater. And like you said, it is a freaking commitment, man. Every one is like a full movie.
Yeah.
So watching them all, that is a series I would love to watch all of, for sure.
Oh, my God. That is a lot of time.
Yeah. Speaking of watching all of a series, you know what I now have even more of an obligation to finish watching?
I don't know. What?
Death Note.
Oh,
Did you see
the Netflix? Yeah.
So I'm like, it's on Netflix. Death
Is it
Note
out already?
No, not
Okay.
that, but the
the
anime.
yeah.
And I have never watched it. So I was recently listening back to the episode we did with JB where you guys were talking about Death Note.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that trailer, if anyone doesn't know, there's a trailer for it's a Netflix original movie, live action Death Note.
William Dafoe is playing
Willem.
Willem.
It's Willem Dafoe.
I always say William.
I know. I just want to let you know.
No,
'cause some people heard that.
I'm glad you
and they
corrected me. Coming from the guy who invented Caligorgorf. So I love him. So freaking Green Goblin is playing the demon guy. I'm so bad with names.
I don't know what his name is.
You wouldn't know.
So.
I know. It's Ryu something.
That I can't help you with.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know why. I just never know names.
But Willem Dafoe is amazing and horrifying.
Yeah,
so.
I think I brought up Green Goblin. I think that was like the inspiration because he was crazy as Green Goblin. You know, he's freaky and
so good.
I think it's very fitting for the character. I don't recognize anybody else though, like the guy who's playing the main guy in it and stuff.
Yep. I don't recognize anyone.
But it does look really cool.
Yeah. You just reminded me because there's like a couple series. I was going through. You had said recently that you were trying to clear out your Netflix queue.
Yes.
And that kind of inspired me too. I was looking through, and it's not been easy though, man.
It's not, because those movies, I think, on Netflix are like, oh, I do want to see this.
Exactly.
But you can't commit. You're
maybe
like,
not right now.
Yeah,
though.
it's like, it'll be here for forever.
Right. And
then they get rid of them at times.
Right, they'll get rid of them, which are like, oh, bummer, but my queue's a little smaller. But then when they get rid of them, they also are like, recently added.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, add,
Yeah, oh my God.
add.
I need to stop myself from doing that.
I know, that's the worst thing. I went on the other day, and I don't know if you watched them or if you heard, but Dave Chappelle made a big return.
I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Yeah, he put out 2 full-length specials in one day on Netflix. I watched the first one. It was really funny. I mean, Dave Chappelle's great. It's interesting because he's, some comics have been around for long enough that all their jokes are just about their own career. So, like, he makes a joke about, like, Key and Peele and how he watched Key and Peele do his show every night, like, because they basically do that same sketch formula.
Yeah.
And so it's just funny because it's different than watching like a newer or a younger comic who hasn't been doing it as long, because he can just make jokes about his career and he's famous enough that you know what he's talking about.
Right.
So, and he's making this big return. It's been like 10 years, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even watch his show when it was out at the time. No. That was on Comedy Central though.
Yes.
And I know there was some controversy for some reason, like,
I honestly don't know.
I don't remember either. Like, I never got into it, but I'm
like
curious.
Around why it ended and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like he did something or someone did something, but I never really got into it. But all I've ever heard is just good things about him as a comedian, and it's everyone was so excited he was coming back.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and the first special was really good. And but that caught me. I was going like, oh, what's in my queue? I'm gonna clear something out, and it's like just added Dave Chappelle, and I was like. Because someone, a dude at work that day was like, hey, did you hear about the new Dave Chappelle? And so I was like, all right, I guess I got to watch this. So I watched that before going into anything that was already in my queue.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
And what's worse is it's hard enough to watch the movies, but if it's a TV show, that is 26 episodes or however long until you could actually get rid of it. When it's a movie, you're like, oh, that block's gone,
right.
you know?
And then, exactly.
Yeah, and it's satisfying to get rid of it to say remove.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to clear out my movies before I start going to the shows.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
there's...
I did do that, actually. Do you want to jump to movies?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Ooh, let's go to the movies.
I watched a movie. I just went to my queue and I just hit the first thing. I was just like, play.
That's how you do it.
I was like, I put it there at some point. I must want to watch it.
Yeah. So what was the lucky pick?
So the lucky pick was a 2016 indie film called Little Sister.
Any relation to BioShock?
No.
Okay.
Actually. I will say right out the gate, it was pretty excellent.
Pretty excellent.
Yeah.
That's good.
I looked at the description on IMDb and I'm not in love with it. But basically a young girl named Colleen, who, I'll just read it. Young nun Colleen is avoiding all contact from her family. Returning to her childhood home in Asheville, North Carolina, she finds her old room exactly how she left it, painted black and covered in goth and metal posters. So basically, she grew up like a goth kid and going to metal concerts with her older brother.
Your description you gave me yesterday was a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what description I gave you.
It
but
was, I got a much better feel for the movie than from yours. Yes.
Yeah, the one on Netflix was better too, but I don't feel like pulling up Netflix right now. Although I could because my phone and technology.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's a young girl. It opens up. She's soon to vow to become a nun, and she gets a call or an email from her mother that her brother's home. And there's a very steady pace throughout the movie where they reveal to you the important things that have happened. You really don't know what you're getting into. Aesthetically, it has a very strong independent feel throughout the whole thing. Even in the way that it's filmed, like there are some scenes that must have been filmed handheld because it's not necessarily bad or distracting, but they're very shaky. And they're not scenes that would like benefit from that or need that kind of feel to it. It's like literally her walking up to her old house and there's some credits or the title pops up and it's just super shaky. And I'm like, it just caught my attention. But it was kind of cool because it gave it this like DIY feel, and the whole thing kind of has that anyways. It has that thing with some pretty strong music cues, but also you know how a lot of indie films just have that dead space. It's just like, not to talk about creepy video games again, no pun intended, but I want to play Dead Space. That game's sweet.
That's good. That's on Xbox One actually. The first one you can play it again.
I think I have it.
Backwards compatible, so you just put the disc in.
That's sweet. Anyways, so there's just like that dead air, no music. You hear all that like.
That's funny that's part of indie films. Like when you watch indie films, that's something that happens
right.
a lot.
Like I feel like that's a thing. It has that feel, and when you see it in like a bigger production, it's very effective. You know what I mean? Like I just love that. I don't know. I guess it just has like a sense of reality to it. So I've been kind of debating on how much to talk about the plot, but basically she comes home from becoming a nun, and her brother's home, and you find out that her brother's come back from fighting in Iraq, and they haven't seen each other a long time. They grew up like best friends. Their family's very broken, and she goes into her room and there's a bunch of there's like an inverted cross over her bed because she grew up like wicked into metal and that whole culture, but now she's becoming a nun, and there's just like these interesting things relationally, and it's basically one of those movies that's a lot of talking, a lot of relationships, a lot of the story about the family, but it's just handled very well, and it's just very entertaining.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend it. It like I said, 2016.
How's the acting in it?
It's good. It's really, really good. And there are a lot of, like I said, there are a lot of scenes that are just, there's a lot of quiet. There's a lot of space between dialogue. It's not quite like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset.
Yeah.
It's not quite that. I don't know.
It's like, sounds like a drama, like just a.
It is, for sure.
Just a tame drama, you know, or an indie drama, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's independent, but.
So Addison Timlin is in it. Ali Sheedy, who you'd know Ali Sheedy from The Breakfast Club as the weird one.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Yeah. She plays the mother in this.
Oh wow!
And she's really great. Keith Poulsen, I believe is how you say that. Peter Hedges. And yeah, it's really great. It's called Little Sister. It's on Netflix.
On Netflix?
Yep. I stole some quotes from it on my phone so that I could use them for my band.
They're creepy out of context.
They're super creepy. But there's some interesting things throughout the movie. No blatant statements that I found, at least, but it takes place, I think, in 2008.
I was just about to ask you, like, when is the time frame? Because
I think it's 2008.
like, it definitely depends on what year it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of specific talk about like Obama and the impact on the military and people being sent to Iraq and stuff like that, and people interacting with this guy who just came back from Iraq, and he's he's having a hard time coming back for very obvious reasons when you watch the movie, and a lot of it is his sister coming home and trying to like rebuild this relationship with him. And there are a lot of really emotional moments, and the quiet surrounding those moments is like what makes them so good. So, yeah, it kind of has everything that you would imagine. Like when you think indie film, I feel like this is what I picture.
That is like the indie film.
Yeah, it totally
is it very dark all the
elements.
time in the movie?
Lighting wise? Yeah, relatively. Yeah, it's pretty, it's like, I would say dull. Like the lighting is dull.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It'd be like low colors or something.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Low colors, does that make sense? Like, dim colors?
I know what you mean. Yeah, like, I keep wanting to say like earth tone, but that's not really right. It's just, flat maybe.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. No.
I don't know.
That's just how I imagine it. Like as you're describing it, I'm thinking like my brain thinks of the color, like the type of movie. So
exactly. No, it has that throughout it for sure.
Yeah, I love that when you kind of just stumble upon a random movie and you're like, "Yeah, I'll give it a watch, see what happens." And then it ends up being real cool, and you're like, "Wow, that was awesome."
Yeah, I think you ever have those moments where you're on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, and you realize you have access to all these like movies and stuff, and you're like, man, there's so much stuff I've never seen and I would never even know about, but it's just on here. And that happened to me. That happens to me sometimes, and I'll just go through and read the descriptions.
Yeah.
Like recently, I was realizing like I haven't really watched a lot of anime. The ones I've watched, I really, really like. I have a few favorites, but there's a ton on here. So I just went through and I was reading the descriptions, and I was just adding them because I was like, this is here. I can watch it whenever I want. So that's what I did with Little Sister. The Netflix description was something like a young goth girl becomes a nun and returns to her broken family or whatever. And I'm like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
So it's really great.
I've always wondered how many like films there are in existence up to this point in time. Do you think
I've wondered similar things.
Do you think it's in the millions or like 100,000s? It must be more than like 500,000. But I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't. Someone who's good with numbers might be able to come up with a good estimate.
I wonder if like on IMDb, they would have total number of movies.
I think the best way to do it would be to figure out on average now how many movies come out a year.
But you also have to think.
But it's so hard. Like,
like America, the U.S. alone releases probably like, I don't know, 10,000 or something. Bless you. But then there's China, there's India, there's Russia, there's
everywhere.
Germany, there's everywhere. So I just like at this point we're probably accelerating at such a crazy pace, but like up to this point in time in 2017, since the beginning of film, how many?
I don't know.
I know it's not possible to watch it all at this point.
And then what do you count as a film like packaged and released?
Well, I think anything that would be classified as
because how many films are played at festivals every year that don't get distribution?
That just like some random short film or just a film in general. See, that's even a crazier number.
Like you think about that, and I'm sure those films, like even though they don't get major distribution, we could go to a film festival and see a ton of films that nobody will ever see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's real crazy to think about. Yeah, and I try in my some crazy way to organize how I'm gonna watch all these shows like throughout my life. I'm thinking like that far ahead. I'm all right, right now I will watch all these like I don't know, like high class like Criterion movies. You know, I like at this point in my life I want to watch all these movies. There's like 800 of them in their catalog, but I'm like I just want to watch them all,
Right.
But at the same time, there's all these awesome superhero movies and like anime movies and so many other movies coming out. I'm like, how do I do this? So right now, what I'm trying to do is just catch everything I want to see in the theater this year and try to catch up on everything I've missed the past years. You know, That's all it ever is. It's just the game of catch up
Always.
or the keep up.
Ayo.
Hey.
Yeah, you know what I do is I kind of messed myself up because we were talking yesterday about going to Japan, and we were talking about the Ghibli Museum, and I was like, man, I still got to watch like all of them.
I still haven't seen all of them, and I love.
Yeah.
I still haven't just sat down and watched all of them yet.
So I'm thinking that today. I was at work, and I was like, man, I feel like I want to catch up on some stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I want to watch the Ghibli stuff for sure before we go to the museum and stuff. And then my brain goes, well, you never finished watching all the Marvel movies through. And Doctor Strange just came out recently, and Rachel still hasn't seen Doctor Strange.
Oh.
So I was like, I want to finish watching all the Marvel movies,
Yeah.
and then we'll rent Doctor Strange or something so we can watch it. So instead of just going directly to the Ghibli films, I find something that I didn't finish yet and go back and do that.
Oh, that's good.
So then by the time, but it's not though, because then by the time I'm done with that, I might not be in like Ghibli mode anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be in the right mood,
right?
too.
Because you get in like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like right now with my Netflix list, I was like, okay, I'm just going to crush through movies. So I watched like 5 movies.
Yeah.
And now I'm not in the mood to watch movies, but luckily I'm in the mood to watch shows. So I'm going to try to crush through, finish off some shows I had in there. But then sometimes I'm in the mood to play games. Sometimes I want to build Legos, like just do other things. And it's like I can't keep up with myself. Like I want to finish this off so Tim can relax. It's like I'm trying to relax. It's
So
like
Tim can relax.
I just can't. And this is like the biggest first world problem ever.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah,
I just can't find enough reasons.
I can't stop watching TV.
Where's my Cheetos?
I need to I need to finish this TV show so I can relax.
It's like, come on.
Oh man,
That's funny.
yeah, that is funny.
So you watch any other movies?
We'll keep it at that for now. I think that's probably it.
I watched Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty freaking funny.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, and I'm actually real late to the party because I've never seen it, but
Really?
people like my whole life have been making references to it. And I'm like,
Yeah, I bet.
I don't get it.
Tanakh.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. It makes me miss Jack Black.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like he's dead, but he's not. He's just disappeared.
Yeah. Kung Fu Panda's on Netflix now. And I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah. Have you seen those at all?
I have.
All of them?
I don't remember if I saw the second one, actually.
Okay. Second one's okay.
Yeah.
Not as good as the first.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we did. That's
Because
funny.
3 came out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Jack
yeah,
Black.
so not much to say about it. You know, it's old news at this point, but I thought it was funny. It was,
Yeah.
it
I
was
mean, you
very-
can talk about it more if you want.
I don't have much to say.
That's what we do here.
All I can say it was funny.
Oh, I didn't do my little intro thing.
What's your intro saying?
Remember that thing I said once and you were like, that was amazing. And it was something about like how we fail miserably at keeping up with media and stuff like that. I was hoping to like say it more often, but
Well, you know what? It could have been amazing.
now it's just getting weird. So
You weirdo.
Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Yeah, that was it. I just wanted to say I watched it finally. So now, people, you can make references.
Rate it.
I still won't.
1 out of 10. 1 to 10.
7.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what I realized? I don't know quotes. I can't retain quotes from movies.
You can't handle the truth.
I know that one though. A Few Good Men.
You had me at hello.
Sonic music.
Does that mean we're in games now?
Yes, I do have games to talk about actually.
Okay.
But yeah, to finish off, to close that, people quote me things all the time.
Yeah.
And as someone who appreciates films and watch them all the time, I feel like an idiot because I'm like, I have no idea what that's
I
from.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I do retain like what the movie was about. I remember key scenes.
Yeah.
But my brain doesn't take importance in the words or the names of the characters. I'm like, that's Jimmy, Joe,
Which
Bob.
is pretty funny.
I know.
That's Caligorgorf.
Yes, exactly.
Are there any movies though that you know like a ton of the quotes from?
Well, I think The Dark Knight because I've seen it a bunch, and you used to say a lot of quotes from it. So the one that'll never leave me is the freaking prima ballerina from the Moscow Ballet.
Why?
That was so long ago because I said I knew like everything about The Dark Knight, and you said, "Oh, who said this?" And you tested me on it, and I was like, "I have no idea." And now,
really?
Now it was in your house a long time ago. It's one of those weird memories that I have.
I don't even kind of remember that.
Yeah, you knew it so well, and you're like, "Oh yeah, who said this?" And I was like, and you're like, clearly Harvey Dent.
Harvey,
but it wasn't
Harvey
Harvey Dent. It was Bruce.
Huh, yeah, it was Bruce. Yeah, that's right. That's weird when you have memories like that. I had one of those really weird memories the other day. It's from like 8th grade, and I remembered the name of the person who said a specific thing.
See, and I'm like, why is my brain wasting
I don't know.
energy on that?
Dude, you
Why
know what it
can't I
was?
remember Caligula Gorf's last
Just
name?
just to highlight how weird it is.
Yeah, tell me the memory. Go into the details.
The memory is that I remember my friend having an epiphany that all of the styles that were current at the time, specifically like sagging your pants and not tying your shoelaces, were came out of laziness.
That is so just...
We were walking.
I mean, that's a good revelation,
Right.
but...
We were walking, and she was like, I just realized that like all the styles today are just out of laziness. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Why do I remember that?
That's where your memory ends. You're like, and you're right.
Dude, that was like 15 years ago.
Why? Like,
I don't know.
it is so weird. And I have the same thing. Of course, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything other than what I just told you. But yeah, your brain just remembers the weirdest things. And then important things like, who's the 32nd president?
Obama.
Garfield. I don't know. I just got a funny image of Garfield, like lasagna Garfield, being a president.
Barack Lasagna. I don't know.
I don't know what to give you there.
That was a stretch.
But yeah, sometimes I get mad at my brain.
Yeah.
But we're going into games, so
All right.
pew pew.
Video games.
So I already used my Sonic Music thing, so I'm just gonna go right into Sonic.
Right.
They finally have a name for the new Sonic.
The mystery one?
Yeah, the mystery one.
Yeah.
It's called Sonic Forces. And
You don't seem pleased.
well, it looks like Russian. How they wrote it out at like the font.
Does that anger you? for
Well,
some
I
reason?
just like, why is Sonic Russian?
I'm gonna look it up.
And it's got like a big red star next to it, and I don't know why. I don't know. I wanted Sonic Adventure 3, honestly.
All right, so you're just mad that it's not what you wanted it to be.
Yes, exactly. Wow, Brett.
Listen.
Wah, wah.
I'm just trying to see Sonic Forces.
Sonic
I mean,
Forces.
it doesn't really look.
I mean,
Russian.
Sonic, the word Sonic in it looks fine, but Forces is like, see? It's like Russian.
It's like the least dramatic font in history.
Yeah, that's the Russian font.
There's some stars behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it something about like? Does he have some army or something?
It could be. I don't know. It looks, they had gameplay for it too. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like Generations.
Okay.
And then why does Shadow come up?
I don't know. Stop looking at my phone.
I'm sorry. And they also delayed Sonic Mania
Oh, why?
to just summer. I mean, it came out in May, so they said summer. You know, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right there. But I'm not sure why. Just took longer, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of stars, there's a massive Resident Evil sale going on Xbox Live right now.
Yes, and it has the I forgot it. It's the Resident Evil. It's $20, and it's the bundle for Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, Revelations, and
Zero?
0 and 0 in the original. So Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, 4, 5, 6, and Revelations 2 for $20. You should go buy that right now.
Oh man, I want to.
I hope it's still on sale anyways. What's today? Monday, so it'll probably reset tomorrow.
Dude, I was looking through. They had everything. They had Resident Evil 4. They had, everything you just named. And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
And they were all like $10.
Yeah.
You know, but for that bundle.
Yeah, that's the big bundle, which blows my mind because I spent $20 on them each.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, I wish.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I gotta check
And that's all the HD remakes, like the high quality
Yeah.
ones. So, and Revelations 2, which is awesome because that was 5 episodes. So each episode's $5 to $10 each.
That's nuts.
So you get the full game for
wow.
whatever it is. So, I was like, man, I want to buy this. Just I mean, I have all the games, so it doesn't matter. But I was like, this is too good of a deal.
That's crazy. Yeah. So speaking of gold,
yes,
we were talking games with gold.
Games with gold.
I mean, are you bummed though because you've played like every one of these games?
Yes, but there's one I'm pretty excited about.
So
we'll list them. So on Xbox One, we have Rise: Son of Rome.
Yep.
Which people have been asking for this game since the beginning of Xbox One. They're like, oh, they're going to do it next month. Oh, they're going to do it. Because it was a launch game, and everyone's like, it's a big Microsoft game. So it's finally coming out, which is great. I'm glad people get to play it finally. So it was Rise, Walking Dead Season 2.
Yes.
Which is also awesome because they had Season 1 already. So so now, now you got both seasons.
So sweet.
And that'll give you a chance to finally freaking play it.
I played 1 like when it came out.
Yeah,
so.
Season 3's out and already on Episode 3. So
wow.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So Xbox 360 is Darksiders.
Yep.
Which is that sweet like post-apocalyptic with the 4 Horsemen from the Apocalypse game. That's one I'm excited for because that game was really fun.
Yeah.
And I want to play through it again.
Fine.
And what was the last one?
The last one was Assassin's Creed
Revelations. Which I think that one's much better than Brotherhood.
Really?
Kicks it out of the water.
It's Ezio again, right?
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Yep. I think that's the last one with Ezio. I think that caps off the story.
Yeah, it looked great. I'm so stoked. This might be the best month. Rivaled only by the one that it was, let's see, Crimes and Punishments, the Sherlock Holmes one, Lords of the Fallen, I think Wolf Among Us, and Borderlands.
One of them.
No, that couldn't have been. Those are 3 Xbox
One
Ones.
games, yeah.
What was that other one?
I believe it was Wolf Among Us and Sunset Overdrive. Those two were together.
That's
right.
a
good one, too.
Yeah. I don't know, but remember that there was 1 month that I came in on, and I was like, this is good.
Yeah,
there's a good one.
And it was Sherlock Holmes, Lords of the Fallen. Your first one, I think.
Yeah. Dead Space. Maybe it was Dead Space in Borderlands that month?
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. But whatever. This month is probably my favorite so far.
Yeah, this one, if I didn't have any of those games, this one would be a killer.
Yeah, I haven't played any of them.
Yeah, this is very good value. So,
and they always try to get you with the sequels. I already played Walking Dead Season 1.
Right.
So this is actually like...
I know, that's weird that they're like, here, have the second game.
Totally, because they want you to go get the other one, you know?
And I noticed we never talk about the PlayStation games. I don't know what they are yet, but...
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, but I feel
I don't
bad.
have one.
I know. But maybe
we should start doing that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to look them up real quick?
I don't think they're announced yet.
Well, then next time on the Keep Up.
I think next week they'll announce it. Or tomorrow, actually, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you going to say? I interrupted you right before.
I don't know.
Clearly,
I was going to say they're giving us the first Darksiders, but that's like an old game at this point. So
yes, and they actually remastered it for Xbox One. Darksiders 1 and 2 are both on Xbox One remastered.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter either way.
Doesn't matter. Who cares? Whatever.
Who cares?
Who cares? I was this close. If you're not watching, I got my fingers real close to each other. To putting in Rise the other day.
Oh.
Because it was like getting late, and I really wanted to play a game. But I had work the next morning, and I was like, do I want to like start it and get crazy tired, or start it and then force myself to stop? And I'm still playing The Evil Within, so I'm like, maybe I'll start something new because I can just try it out for a little bit. I was going to put on Rise, and then I decided against it, and then I looked up Games with Gold, and I was like, duh!
Don't need it!
I can play it whenever I want.
Rise is, I think I told you plenty of times before, but it's a good game because it's short.
Yeah.
You know, the campaign's like 6 to 8 hours, which is a good length. So that's a quick one to blast through, and it's fun. It's an overall good game.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing in games.
I've been playing a lot of things, but nothing I want to talk about just yet. I'm gonna get a little farther at them. I do want to talk a little bit about Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever played a game?
No.
Where I'm trying to think like
that's a 10.
Where like the whole series was good. And then, the series ended, and then they came out with another one.
Gears of War?
Pretty much, Gears of War. Did you play Gears 4?
Not yet.
Same thing as that. It's something where they're trying to capture what was so good about the original, but, like, refresh it.
Is it the same company?
No. No. But I'm noticing that a lot this generation because they're like, oh man, we nailed it last generation. Let's bring all these games over to the new consoles.
Right.
And, try to keep the legacy going. Because Gears of War finished, Mass Effect finished. They were like capped, and then they come out with more. And it's like, it's one of those things where you're like, I'm super excited because it's another game, one of my favorite series, but they don't do it well.
Yeah.
And it almost ruins your whole idea for the series because you're like, why
kind
can't
of a weak return?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if you've ever had that happen with maybe a movie or a game or something.
I mean, Resident Evil 6 was kind of a bummer.
Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
bummer. After 5?
After, oh my God, 5 was so good.
And the thing with Resident Evil was that 4 came out and it was a big deal because the last one before that was
3. Well,
Nemesis, but did they put
Veronica?
Code Veronica, yeah. But it had been a while. It was definitely felt like a rebirth of sorts, and completely different game. And then so it was like, all right, new direction. Resident Evil's a little different now, but 4 was insane. That was actually around the time I was getting back into video games, and I was like, this is dope. 5 came out. 5 was amazing. I played Mercenaries, insane. I was online with that game like every day. Right?
I played that game. I think I have like 140 hours.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's one year.
Yeah, I played that game so much.
Crazy. So at that point, we're like, all right, they switched up directions, but it's still good.
Yep.
And then 6 came out, and it was like, I just remember playing it, and I was like, I'm going to beat this because it's a Resident Evil game, but it just felt tired,
I think overall it was a good game if it wasn't Resident Evil.
Yeah.
If it had a different skin, if it was like Zombie Battle 2018 or whatever.
Yeah.
It would be much better because the gameplay was very good. Like, you could slide, you could roll, you could kick.
Like that stuff was fun. It wasn't a bad game, but overall it just felt kind of stale.
Yeah, and as far as Resident Evil games go, you're looking for Resident Evil, like you're looking for certain things to happen.
Right.
That game didn't hit it, and a lot of people are having that issue with the newest Resident Evil.
Really?
In the sense that like, oh, where are all our favorite characters? Because this one doesn't have anybody in it. But I mean, I think it's fine. The direction.
Should have known they weren't going to be in it.
Oh, yeah.
Or, if they were, it'd be more of a surprise than anything. I wasn't anticipating that they would be.
Well, there may or may not be characters in it.
Yeah,
but
who knows? I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
But, I get it. Resident Evil 6, certainly, that was a rough game.
Yeah, so that sounds like kind of my experience with that.
Yeah. So that's how I'm feeling with Mass Effect Andromeda. It's cool, and I'm, same thing. If it was a different game, different skin, Space Simulator 2018. I think I would.
I think you found your calling, naming games.
Yeah, dude, that's what I got. I think I'd be like, man, this is a real good game. But because I already have my expectations.
Yeah,
it's hitting harder. I think. So I don't know. I'm gonna play it more. I'm only a couple hours in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You want to hear an interesting story about me and Mass Effect?
Yes.
I've never played any Mass Effect game.
That's okay.
But probably 8 years ago, maybe 9.
That's probably when it came out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the first one came out. I won a copy of Mass Effect from a podcast that I listened to.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen? That's awesome.
I forget the details. So there was a period of time I wanted to start a podcast. It's been like probably 10 years.
I was going to say, it must have been like friggin' 10 years.
Yeah. And I started really getting into podcasts, and I just didn't really have the capacity for it yet. I had a mic, and I tried to record a couple episodes, but I didn't know how to get the feed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a ton of podcasts, and there was a period of time where I got myself on to like 4 or 5 podcasts that I really liked. I just kept writing to them, and they just kept like responding to me.
That is so cool.
There was a film podcast that I really loved, and they were ending, and I wrote them a letter, and they read it on air. They read.
Do you have those podcasts?
There were like
saved?
3 total. I don't. I might be able to find them. I don't know.
Their podcasts are I don't know what site did you get it, like iTunes?
It was iTunes.
Okay, so they're probably still.
But
up
like
there.
some of them, like that one, I can't. Oh, I'd have to think for a minute, but I can't quite remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a show called Chicken Pot Pod, and that was like my first favorite podcast ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if they're still doing it or not because I stopped listening to podcasts for a while, and then when I came back, I started listening to different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Chicken Pot Pod I wrote into, and they took my question and turned it into an entire episode. I asked them like what their favorite cartoons were, and they did a top 10 favorite cartoons an entire episode.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the guy, one of the hosts called me at one point, and like we talked on the air for a while.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and at the time I was like, this is the best day of my life.
That's
like,
so awesome.
Yeah, so
how'd I never hear this?
I don't know. That's funny. So I actually got in trouble at work because he called me. I knew it was him calling me, and I was at work, and I didn't think my boss was there, so I took the call because I didn't want to miss it. And my boss was there the whole time, and then at the end of the phone call, like he walked over and like I got in trouble. But I was like, whatever. It was on Chicken Pot Pod.
Yeah, whatever. You're famous now.
So that happened. There were those two. There was another one that I called in and left a message, and they played it, but that's like what they did on that show.
Yeah.
So that wasn't like.
I mean, it's still cool that they like.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So then, let's see. There were those three. Was there another one? This one, I'm bringing it back to Mass Effect. There was a gaming podcast that I listened to, and they were like, just call us. We have an extra copy of Mass Effect. Call us, and I think it was just leave us a message and we'll pick one. And I left a message, and they had made a joke about like whales, like whale language, and I left a message saying that I was very offended because my mom was a whale. And then I made like whale noises at some point and pretended to cry. And so they played it on the air, and then they mailed me a copy of Mass Effect.
Amazing. Okay, we have to find these. Just to hear you 10 years ago going, boo.
Dude, it would be so hard though to know the name of the episode. But if the descriptions say like when they gave it away,
well, we can look at when Mass Effect came out and look at the podcast within that time.
I could even probably figure out what year it was that I was on the podcasts because I remember where I was working, where I was living and stuff. But anyway, so
where's the copy now? That's the question.
Oh, I sold it.
Did you even try it, or
no.
were you? Oh.
I think I might have put it in once, but I think there was a game I really wanted at the time. I ended up trading it in.
That makes sense.
I don't remember, but I was stoked. I was stoked about winning it.
That's awesome, though. I don't know if I ever told this before, but I've been very close one time at winning a game, like winning a contest, and it haunts me to this day. So I went to the midnight release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Which is just something I used to do when the Call of Duties were coming out when I was young. So there they had these 5 stations set up, and they were all like just these fun games to play. But whoever did the best at each game would go to the final round to win the game, win a free copy of the game, and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Sweet.
So I won there was this Wii U shooting game, and I got the high score in it, which I was like, deal.
Nice.
So I did the best. There was like this cool Nerf war simulator where they had these beanbag guys set up, and there was another one. There was beer pong, but it was like with Gatorade or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was 3 guys, and there was a bunch of different games, but it was me and 2 other guys, and we ended up going to the final round, which is video game trivia, and I was like, this is it. This is my chance. So I was doing good. How you played, they handed each of us a flag, and when he finished answering the question, you throw up the flag, and whoever did it first, they'd be like, all right, answer your question. Or answer the question. So, I was good. Quick reflexes. I had a few points. I think it was first to like 6 points or something.
Okay.
It was something stupid, but so yeah, I'm crushing through. I'm like, I know this, and so it ended up, one guy knew nothing. It was just me and this other guy going back and forth. So it ended up being I had 4 and he had 5, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I got it.
Yeah.
So the question they asked, which breaks my heart to this day, because it's even funny, I was reading about it earlier that day, but they were like, what was Halo supposed to be before it was a first-person shooter? So my flag went right up, and I was like, what did I say? Role-playing. It was a real-time strategy, and I knew it was a real-time strategy, but my brain just said role-playing. So I was like, role-playing. Oh, no, real-time strategy. And he was like, no, you already gave your answer. So the guy with the flag next to me was like, real-time strategy, and he won. And I was like, because he didn't know. He had no idea. He was
really?
like, yeah, I put up the flag, and he was like, good, I didn't know this one at all. And I was like, and and I totally screwed myself over. Broke my heart. I was like, I am an idiot. Because in Game Informer earlier that day, it was like Halo. It was like 10 years of Halo or whatever it was at the time. And I was like, oh, that's neat. It was a real-time strategy. And I knew it. It was in my head. And I just said the wrong thing. They both started with R. And my brain was like, role-playing.
Wow.
I was so mad. I got second place, which got me a shirt, energy drinks, a bumper sticker, and a keychain.
That's pretty cool.
It's still cool. Yeah, I'm glad I got as far as I did. But if you got in first place, you got the collector's edition of the game on top of everything you got in second place.
No. What game was it for?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
So that was the night vision goggle one. That where you get a $150 pair of night vision goggles, an official like military brand night vision goggles, and I screwed myself over.
Oh my gosh.
I was so mad.
I'm hurt.
I never did a midnight premiere after that. I was like, I was done. I was like, this, it was a good memory because, I had all my friends there. We were all just excited. it was like, I used to do it every year with my friends.
That would have completed the experience.
That would have been like, this is it. That was the perfect midnight.
Hey man, you just helped that guy out. That's all.
He got an awesome pair of friggin' night vision goggles.
One time, went to this show, and it was with a member of Wu-Tang Clan was playing.
Oh, wow.
And he came into the crowd at one point and was handing the mic around to people to freestyle.
Oh, no.
So, my friend Nick.
Yes.
If anyone listening cares or doesn't know, I rap, and I rap as Animatronic the Abolisher, but I also am in a group called Folklore, and just me and my friend Nick, who goes by Lumberjack, and we were there, and he grabs the mic, because Nick is that dude that's like, opportunity, grab it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more like, I'll wait my turn.
Just
like,
you guys
if
go
it comes
for it.
this way. So he grabs the mic, right? And there's this other dude next to me who's like fiending for the mic. Like, he's trying so hard to get it.
Jeez.
So Nick takes it, freestyles, and hands it to me. And I see this dude, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let this dude go first. So I give him the mic. So it's me and Nick. We're right next to this dude.
Yeah.
We're right next to Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang. And I'm holding the microphone, like in this crowd of people.
Oh, my God.
And like, admittedly under pressure, I'm pretty good at freestyling. And I didn't. I just kept seeing this dude, and I was like, this dude really wants to do it. I'll go after him. So I gave him the mic. I never saw the mic again.
I was going to say that's unfortunate logic.
Completely lost.
Did Nick shout out Folklore or anything at the time?
He said a couple things, but he specifically reached through a couple people to hand me the mic. He was like, bro, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
I gave you the mic. I was like, I know, I'm sorry. I should have taken it.
That's scary, though. That's
I
so
know.
many people listening
It
to
is,
you.
but it wasn't even that. I just, for some reason, was like, man, I should let this dude take it.
I've done things like that before
I'm
where I'm
like-
like, I'm so happy to have it, but this guy looks like he wants it a lot more than me. So here you go. Like, you enjoy it. I'll get my opportunity. It'll come back.
But
to me
I
or
have the
something.
same feeling about that night that I think you do about that midnight release, is I'm like, I probably should have just freestyled with Inspector Deck instead of handing it to some stranger.
Instead of giving it, because even though you could have handed it to him after you freestyled.
Right? I could have freestyled and then just gave it to him, but I was just, I lost the moment, and I was like,
Oh, that's super unfortunate. That
kind of
sucks.
a bummer. I mean, it's whatever. It's not like it would have been.
But you have a cool story to tell.
I
That's
guess.
You didn't
it's
freestyle,
cool.
but you had the mic. You had the opportunity to freestyle, but you're a bigger man than that.
Yeah, I guess.
You earn your own way.
It's taken forever, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's okay, though. I still believe.
I appreciate it. I think maybe we should wrap it up.
Like a dump truck? No, let's back it up.
Yeah. You were close, though.
Yeah.
Wrap it up like an airplane.
Yeah.
My only encouragement to you, audience, is to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
Yes.
2, like us on YouTube. You follow people on YouTube. Subscribe. Subscribe.
Subscribe on YouTube.
4,
You missed 3.
leave us a review
You only have 3 fingers up right now.
on iTunes.
Oh, the review would be
Posy
awesome.
one.
It could be negative too, but I prefer positive.
And C,
See, that's before 4, but after.
call Tim
No.
at 1-800-Caliglargorf.
I wonder what that calls. I'll call that number someday.
It's not, you can't spell it with letters.
Why?
I don't know.
Phones do that nowadays. It's
I don't.
333.
So, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube.
Which we will eventually have videos coming back. I swear it. I'm working on it.
For sure. Yeah, so I guess even more urgently right now, if you could subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review, that would be killer.
Yes.
You can leave 5 stars and talk a bunch of trash after. That's fine with me.
That's weird, but you can do it.
It's weird, but don't tell people what you like about it. We're too young in the game to have a bunch of negative reviews. Is all I'm saying. I mean, if you think this is awful, just don't leave a review. How about that? Don't waste your time.
No.
Don't waste your time.
Leave a review regardless. Don't listen to him.
All right, sorry.
Whether it's good or
advice.
bad, that shows that we're controversial and people want to listen to us more.
You're right. They'll want to make their own opinion.
Right.
So, and you should speak up. If this is the worst podcast you've ever heard, I mean, first of all, you need to listen to more podcasts because there's some bad ones.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to see more reviews.
You know what I noticed recently? We are getting a lot more traffic on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, through the app, it keeps telling me, you have 5 views, you have 20 new views to the page.
Interesting.
So it's cool. I don't know if people are checking every day, it's the same 5 people or 5 new people, but it's cool to see that, and we actually should start posting to our social media.
Yeah.
So check us out there, because tonight I am most certainly posting on Facebook. Well, tonight, nobody's going to see this podcast.
Until probably next week.
Yes. Oh,
I mean, today.
So this is regardless information, but Monday night there will be something on Facebook. I'm going to try to post something on Instagram, try to, bring us back to life. So follow us there too.
Also, let me throw this out there. At the time that you are listening to this, we should be able to stay on schedule, but this might be the last time we record that we live in the same house.
Oh, yeah.
At least
we'll have a new...
For this time being.
Yeah.
We'll have a brand new Keep Up studio area, backdrop and whatnot. And also, what I'm really thinking is we'll be able to kind of pan out our schedule a little bit differently.
Yes.
But in theory, this will just be out on schedule, whatever that schedule is.
Yeah, this is not information regardless of your face much vary.
What I'm trying to say is maybe you'll have more content soon.
And maybe I won't have a stroke next time.
Maybe Caligorgorf.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm going to cosplay as at Comic-Con.
I can't wait to go back and listen to that. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I'm going to get the footage and just lick it.
I just remember there's other stuff I wanted to talk about, but...
Why do you always wait till it's too
I
late?
gotta make myself a list. Next podcast is gonna be dope.
Don't we always? Okay.
Oh, whatever. Thank you for watching and listening and watching or whatever. And Tim,
take it away.
Take it away.
All right. So one day I was thinking, if you fold your arms inside themselves, can you become a chicken wing? Can you flap to the speed of light?
Speaking of which.
What is this? Is this guy who hits the bird? Oh, I love that video. That bird became chicken wings.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How incredible is that? How fast do you think he was throwing that ball?
You can see the bird just flapping around.
Yeah. Is it dead, you think?
Oh my gosh, is that a real question?
I mean, I'd feel bad if it was still alive.
Wait, that's the ball.
Yeah, that's not the bird. The bird's gone, Brett. He deleted it. So where was I? Yeah, so if your wings fly, then can you go north? I don't think winter comes fast enough for you to go north. But if you go south, the beaches are sometimes warm. But not Hawaii. You can't go there because that's west.
Oh my gosh, is the mic still on?
Yeah, if you just, Brett just fell into the future. Honolulu and Mary Timbus.